Okay, class, quiet. So we're gonna work on the pronunciation of my name today. So this is how you pronounce it. Elin. Okay? Now say it with me.
Elin.
Okay, Mr. Tashingham, let's try that again. Elin. Say it again.
Elin.
Okay.
Look, Mom, I got a gold star. All right, it's Sunday, March the 4th, and we're just coming up to 11:30 in the morning. And we are going to try and tackle this rear valence today. And we're just trying to figure out how we're going to do this, whether we want to take this off as an entire piece, whether we want to take it off in half a piece, where we want to cut it. We were thinking that it's possible we might be able to cut it here where the brazing line is and where the brazing line is on the other way, because I don't think we have a ton of rust behind it to the outside part of this valence. So we're going to have a good inspection of it, and we'll come up with a direction as far as how we're going to replace this valence, or a piece of this valence. Okay, after several minutes of discussion, we're not quite sure how this is going to work, but what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to cut right along the brazing line down to about the bottom here where the brazing line stops and runs across this way. So we're going to cut down and then back up to this line here where you can see the brazing is, there's a brazed piece all the way across the edge here. So we're going to try to just cut below the brazing here and remove this piece. We're going to probably get cut out to here and remove this little section here to start with and keep the rest for reference. So we're going to break out the cutting wheel and go to town. All right, the first piece is cut out, and here it is over here. And you can see the double thickness of the metal here. So we're going to try to separate the two gingerly and see what we come up with. And I'm going to take the opportunity while this piece is out, not only to give this a good cleaning or a good wire brushing, I'm going to fix this flange here. So I'm going to get the little cutting wheel out so I can get some access in here. We'll cut it back as far as we can, make a new flange piece to weld in here. Okay, fixing that flange now means that we have a hole on the inside of the trunk and or the spare tire pan, and obviously a missing flange on the outside, so two thicknesses of metal. So we're going to replace the outside flange, and then we'll replace the inside of the trunk patch from the inside. Making progress on the patch for the rear with no tools. So we do have a shape from Elin's boss's TR4. Yeah. So we have a bit of a template to go with from an original TR4, or a TR4 that's in much better shape. You can see it fitting up there against the panel, so it looks pretty good as far as shape is concerned. I'm going to get the wire brush out and I'm going to clean a bit of this area while I can. So we're going to do that now, so get your dust mask on. Okay, the new flange is done here on the rear. Let's see, you've got a little pinhole to fill, but for the most part it's done. We've sprayed some rust converter on the bottom panel where I've stripped off as much as the rust and undercoating I could get off, so that's looking a little bit better. And we sprayed it up under here, under this lip. Still making progress on the rear valence panels. On the second panel now. They're looking something like that. So those are looking really good and fitting up to the car well, so we'll continue on. So we've just tack welded in the top piece, and we've just cut another piece out of the middle section. Here's the two layers of metal. There's the original valence metal there on the back, and here's the brazed in patch that was put on top and overlapped as well. And here we're working on the next patch for the middle. So that's looking good. We just got to trim it up a little bit, and then we'll tack that piece in, and we'll keep moving along. All right, we've got two panels tacked in now. So I think it's looking pretty good. Shape's looking good. So I think it's just coming up to, what time is it? 2:30? 2:45? And I think we're going to go in for a lunch break. 2:45. So we're going to go in for lunch, and we're going to have a light lunch. And we'll be back out here after. So here's our light lunch today. We've got braised boneless beef short rib with onions and mushrooms and a little braising liquid. We got a nice salad, and got a little beer here. Innocent Gun.
That's for starters.
For starters, and then we have dessert after that.
What's for lunch?
All right, we'll come back in a bit. Okay, we are back from our lunch. It's about 3:50-ish. Oh, time for a nap. So we're going to finish cutting out the rest of the bottom section that we need to cut out. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. We started work on getting this one bent up over here. So anyway, we'll get that one cut out, and we'll continue on. Let her rip. Tater chip.
Yeah.
This thing is like very, very heavy. So the car is going to be extremely light when we're done. I'm glad I repaired this hole in the rear valence long ago. It was probably like a year ago. Pretty close to it probably. Anyway, yeah, so there's the last piece cut out. So we'll get to work making a new one of these in a single layer of metal. So just another quick look at that last repair section that we're working on now. So I've been cleaning the trunk or the spare tire pan as we go, and cleaning up under this lip the best I can with a wire brush. So what I'm doing now is I'm treating it with the rust converter, and then we're going back in, and before we put that panel back in, we're doing the zinc primer in behind there as well. So hopefully that'll be good for a few more years. Okay, we've got the valence in and tacked. It looks really good, and we've just marked a line with some fine line tape where we're going to cut this extended flange down to where the factory, what we think the factory flange is. So we're going to cut that all the way down to match the flange that's left on the inner and outer edges. So I think it looks good, so we'll go ahead and we'll cut that flange off. Okay, we've put the car down flat, and I'm just laying on the floor behind it. And as you can see, we think it looks fantastic. Obviously needs to be finish welded, but the profile looks really good. It matches the flange on the bottom perfectly. So it'll need a little bit of filler work, but I think you have to agree, that looks pretty darn good. Looks awesome as far as I'm concerned. So it's so much better than that rusty, scabby 2 and 3 layers of metal behind there. It's great to have all fresh metal and to have it all primed in behind there and cleaned of rust. So there we go. We didn't have to take the whole thing off, 3/4 of it, but at least we were able to maintain the end caps. So I think it looks great. What do you think?
It looks beautiful. I'm surprised you managed to do it.
I'm not surprised. Anyway, okay, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, just coming up to 6:30, and we're just out here to shut the heat off in the garage and shut the lights down and close her up for the night. And we took one last look at that rear valence, and we're really, really happy with that. So many thanks again to Elin for coming up and giving me a hand with that valence. It was a big help. And it's amazing how we can make those patches with basically nothing. His knee and a bit of a little bit of a bench brake, but that was pretty much about it. The rest was kind of hand bent and hand formed. It's not, you know, very simple to do that. It's 18 gauge metal, so it's not like it's 20 or 22 gauge metal. So they're a little bit difficult to match the contours of that valence, but he managed to do it. I think he surprised himself a little bit, but I think he was quite happy with the results as well, and I'm extremely happy. So I will finish welding that over the next few days, and we'll get it ground down. I will take my time welding that. We don't want to warp it, so we'll be careful when we weld it, and we'll do it over a long period of time. So that's it for tonight, guys. We'll upload this, and we'll get back out here during the week. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing.